Hey guys, I'm Akash and welcome to Pabbly. So the topic for today's video is how to import Google Analytics data to Airtable. Now suppose guys you own a website and to monitor the traffic and analytical data of your website, you are using Google Analytics. Now you also want to export that very same analytical data every day into your Airtable database. Now the reason for doing this is you also maintain a record of that analytical data in Airtable, and also you can share that very same data with your team members as well without sharing your actual Google Analytics account. Now guys, the manual process of getting the data from Google Analytics and manually adding that very same details into Airtable can be very much repetitive and time consuming. So in this video, I came up with an awesome automation by which every day we will get the analytical data from Google Analytics, we will get the reports, we will get the details, and we will automatically add that very same data as a record in our Airtable database. Interesting, right? Now here you must be thinking how we are going to do this. So to make this happen, we will be using Pabbly Connect, which is an automation and integration software. Now what is the actual step-by-step guide to set up this automation and how you can do this automation by yourself, that too without any technical skills or coding knowledge. To know this, you have to come with me to my screen.
So as you can see, here we are on the Pabbly Connect dashboard. Now to reach this dashboard, you just have to go to your browser and search for pabbly.com/connect. And after reaching to the landing page of Pabbly Connect, by clicking on sign up free, you can create your free Pabbly Connect account in just 2 minutes. Or if you already have an account, just click on sign in. So after reaching this dashboard, click on create workflow and give this workflow a name. For example, I would like to name my workflow as Google Analytics to Airtable. And then click on create. So as we can see now that our workflow is open over here. And in this workflow, we have two different windows. First one is trigger window, second one is action window. So triggers and actions are basically those two concepts, those two principles on which this whole automation works on, where the trigger says when this happens and the action says do this. So let's begin with our trigger window. So the idea here is first we have to tell this workflow, tell this automation that we want to get the Google Analytics data from Google Analytics for every day. Now for that we have to basically schedule this workflow to be executed every day at a specific time. Then after that, after scheduling this workflow, we have to actually get the analytics data from Google Analytics, and after getting that data, we will send that very same data to Airtable using Pabbly Connect. So let's begin with the process. So here in trigger window in choose app, we have to select schedule. So schedule is a feature of Pabbly Connect using which we can schedule our workflow or automation that when and at what time we want this automation to be executed. So after selecting schedule by Pabbly, it is asking us how often you want to run your workflow. So in the drop down below, we can see several options like at regular intervals, once, every day, days of the week or dates of the month. So we want this automation to be executed every day. That's why we will select every day over here. And then it is asking us at the time, that at what time we want this automation to be executed. So for example, I want this automation to be executed at 10 a.m. every day. And after that, just click on save. Now we have successfully scheduled this automation to be executed every day at 10 a.m. After that, let's scroll down and come to this action window. Now here, after scheduling it, we have to basically get the analytics data from Google Analytics. For that, here in action window, in choose app, search for Google Analytics. Google Analytics it is. And after that, after selecting Google Analytics, it is asking us action event. So from the drop down below, we have to select action event as run report. And click on connect, select add new connection. Now here guys, we have to basically connect our Google Analytics account with Pabbly Connect. And to make this connection, just click on this connect with Google Analytics button, select your Google Analytics account, and after selecting the account, we just have to scroll down and click on continue. And after clicking on continue, we can see that our Google Analytics account is now successfully connected with Pabbly Connect. Then after making the connection, the first thing it asks us is property ID. The help text below it says a Google Analytics GA4 property identifier whose events are tracked. Specify the URL part and not the body. So guys, you have to basically create a property for the Google and in our Google Analytics account for our website or the product, whatever we are tracking using Google Analytics. So guys, let me show you how you can create the property ID, or if you have already created, how you can get it. So for that, let's go to the dashboard of my Google Analytics account. So this is the dashboard, and from here, let me change my website, guys. This is the website and this is the product. And after reaching to this page, guys, here on the left side, we can see admin over here. Just click on this admin button. And after clicking on admin, here you can see that I have already created my Google Analytics account over here. I've already added the product. And by clicking on this create property button, you can basically create your own property on your Google Analytics account of your choice if you haven't done yet. And if you have created the property, means after creating the property, just click on this property settings button. As we click on property settings button, here we can see the property ID of that particular property in our Google Analytics account. Just copy this property ID from here, go to Pabbly Connect and paste it over here. After pasting the property ID, so it is asking us start date and end date. So basically it is asking us that what is the time duration of which we want to get the analytics data. So we want to get the analytics data yesterday. So every day we will get the analytics data of yesterday from Google Analytics, and then we will add that very same analytics data into our Airtable database. So guys, we have to basically enter yesterday over here. So just copy this yesterday from here and enter the same over here in start date. And paste the very same yesterday in end date as well. So because we want to get the yesterday's data, that's why we are entering yesterday. If you want to get today's data, if you want to update today's data by the end of the day, you can select today over here in start date and end date. Or if you want to get the details or the data or update the details or the data into your Airtable account from Google Analytics, then basically you can also select the date, start date and end date. Like if I want to get, for example, the data of last 15 days, so I'll enter the start date from what date we want to get the data and the end date till what date we want to get the data. So we have selected yesterday over here. After selecting the start date or end date, it is asking us metric name. So basically, what are the analytics metric we want to get? So there are various metrics Google Analytics offers of the data of the analytics data. But what are the specific metrics which we want to get? So in the help text, it says enter multiple comma separated metric name. See the API metric for the list of metric name. So here we have the hyperlink. Just click on this and it will take you to a new page. And at this very same page, we'll find a list of all the metrics which Google Analytics offers. So here we have the UI name, that what is the name of that metric which we get in our Google Analytics UI. And here we have the API name. So you have to basically search for the UI name which you want to get, the analytics metric, the data analytics data, which you want to get. And you have to basically copy the API name of that very same analytic data or very same metric over here and then paste it over here. And we can basically add multiple metrics by adding some commas. So let's begin. So here the first metric which I want to get is the data of active users. So here is the metric of active users, and here we can see the API name of that very same metric. Just copy this API name, go to Pabbly Connect and paste it over here. After that, let's add a comma, and after that, let's move to our next metric. So in the next metric which I want to get is the bounce rate. So this is the bounce rate, and this is the API name of that very same metric. Just copy the API name of this metric which I want to get and paste it over here. Then the next thing it asks us, the next metric which I want to get is the conversions. So this is the conversion, and this is the API name of this very same metric named as conversion. So paste it. And at last, I will just add one more metric, that is the session. So we will scroll down and search for session over here. Let me see, just a second. Okay, this is the session. So we'll just copy the API name of sessions, go to Pabbly Connect and paste it over here. So whatever the metrics you want to get the details or the data from Google Analytics, you just have to enter the API name of that very same metrics with the comma. You can basically add all the metrics which we get, which it offers, and enter it over here. After entering the metric name, we will move to metric expression. Then the metric expression is basically the mathematical expression or derived metric, that what is the actually mathematically presented data form of this metric. So guys, if you want, you can basically enter your own metric expression of your choice, that in what format, in what derived mathematical expression you want your analytics data. But it is not a required field, so I won't be entering any kind of expression over here. Then it is asking us filter by metric. So in filter by metric, the help text says enter dimension or metric name for filtering. Must be a name defined as a dimension or metric. So in respect to what filter, in respect to what metric, we want to get this data from Google Analytics. So basically, I want to get the details or the data in respect to in the dimension of active users. So we will enter active users over here. So I want to get all of these data, the active user rate, active user count, bounce rate, conversion session. I want all of these metric data in respect to active users. I want the response in the numbers or the count of active users. So we will enter it over here. Then it is asking us metric operator. So the metric operator I will select is greater than from the drop down, and the metric value comparison is 10. Which means guys, if this value, this basically this metrics or the Google Analytics data is more than 10, these values are more than 10, then only we will get the response. So in this way, if you want to set up some kind of alerts in the automation, that if your metric operators or metric values or your Google Analytics data or your Google Analytics statistics drops below a certain point, so you can basically select less than in the metric operator and enter the comparison value. For example, if my active users are less than 500 for some day, then I can get the result or I can get a notification on WhatsApp or in some other application as well. So we will cover a dedicated video on that later. But right now in this video, we will just enter 10, just a basic number, and click on save and send test request. Now, as we click on save and send test request, we can see that we have received a response over here. And in this response, we have received the analytics data of my website of yesterday. So the number of active users was 656. This was the bounce rate, this was the conversion, and this was the session. So basically, we have received the analytics data from Google Analytics in Pabbly Connect of yesterday. Now we want to basically add this very same data to Airtable. So after completing our step 1 over here, let's move to step 2. Let's scroll down and click on this add action step button over here. And after that, here in choose app, we have to search for Airtable. Airtable it is. And here in action event, we have to select create record. Click on connect and select add new connection. Now guys, we have to basically enter the API key or API token of our Airtable account. Now you must be thinking how we are going to get the API key. So guys, here I have already logged into my API account, Airtable account over here. And after logging to your API account, here in this connection window in Pabbly Connect, the help text says log into Airtable and get your API key from the account section. So here we have the hyperlink. Just click on this hyperlink and in a new tab, we can see the settings of our Airtable account are open. So at this very same settings page, here you will find the API key. Just copy this API key from here, go to Pabbly Connect and paste it over here. Or on other side, just go to Airtable account, go to profile section and go to account. And as you click on account, from here as well, you will find the same API key over here. So after entering the API key of our Airtable account, click on save. And as we click on save, we will see that our Airtable account is now connected with Pabbly Connect. So after making the connection, the first thing it asks us is base ID. That what is our Airtable base in which we want to add this data. So the Airtable base which I have created to store my Google Analytics data is named as Google Analytics data itself. So we will basically select this very same base over here from the drop down. So in the drop down below, we can see all the bases which we have created in our Google Airtable account can be seen over here. So here we will search for this very same base which is Google Analytics data. This is the base. Let's select it. After selecting the base, the next thing it asks us is table name. So the table which I have created to store the Google Analytics data is named as Google Daily Analytics. So we will select this very same table from the drop down. And also guys, in this Airtable base, I have created only one table as of now. But if you have more than one tables in your Airtable base, you will see a list of all those tables over here in Pabbly Connect. And here from the drop down, you can select the table of your choice. After selecting the table, the next thing it asks us is active user, bounce rate, session, conversion. So basically guys, we can see the very same fields which we have created in our Airtable database can be seen over here in Pabbly Connect. Now guys, we have to basically add or map the data which we have received, analytics data which we have received from Google Analytics over here in this field, so that we can add that very same data in Airtable as well. And guys, the process of mapping is very simple. So we have received all of this analytics data from Google Analytics over here. In the response, we can see that. And we have to basically map this very same response, this very same data which we have received over here. And guys, the process of mapping is very simple. Just simply click on this field, and in the drop down, we can see all the responses which we have received from Google Analytics. So basically from all these responses here in this field of active user, we will select and map the response of active users over here. And the data is successfully mapped. Now after active users, we want to add the bounce rate. So we have received the bounce rate from Google Analytics. Just click on this field, and from the drop down below from Google Analytics responses, select the response of bounce rate and map it. Then let's move to session. So here in session, from the drop down, let's map the session, and at last conversion. So from the drop down from Google Analytics responses, select and map the conversion as well. So basically in this way of mapping, using the technique of mapping, we have received the analytics data from Google Analytics, and basically using mapping, we have mapped that very same data into a Airtable columns which we have created. And we can see all of those columns over here. So after mapping all these details, the last thing it asks us, enable typecasting. So here we have selected enable typecasting is false. So after selecting false over here, just click on save and send test request. And after clicking on save and send test request, we can see that we have received a response over here. And this response seems to be a very positive response to us. This response shows that the data which we have mapped over here, basically the data analytics data which we have received from Google Analytics, is now successfully added in our Airtable record. So let's check your Airtable record over here. So let's go to Airtable. And yes guys, we can see that the very same record which we have, very same analytics data which we have received from Google Analytics just now, is now successfully added as a new record in our Airtable database. We have the same number of active users, same bounce rate, same session, and same conversion. Also, I have added a new field named as created in this table, so that at what date and time this data is added, we can see that over here, that of what date this data is added, or what date this analytics data is added. So guys, we can see that the automation which we have created in this video is working perfectly fine. Now let's move to Pabbly Connect and understand in brief that what are the steps we followed while setting up this automation. So guys, first we have created a workflow in Pabbly Connect, and in this workflow we have added a scheduler, so that we want to tell this automation, we want to tell this workflow that this automation should be executed every day at this time which we enter over here. After scheduler, we have added the action step of Google Analytics. And in that action step, we have basically received the analytics data of yesterday from Google Analytics. So I have taken an example of yesterday. Basically, you can get the analytics data from Google Analytics in this automation of any time duration. Just enter the start date and end date over there, and you will get the data. And after getting the analytics data from Google Analytics, we have sent that very same data to Airtable using Pabbly Connect, so that we can add that very same data in our Airtable record. So guys, by at the time which we have selected over here, every day at this particular time, this automation will trigger, this automation will be executed, get the Google Analytics data and add it over here in the Airtable. Data of yesterday's analytics from Google Analytics, and add the data in Airtable. So not just these applications guys, you can basically connect plenty of other applications using Pabbly Connect. And guys, one more important thing, you will find the clone link of this very same workflow in the description box below. By clicking on that link, you can clone this very same workflow into your own Pabbly Connect account and use this workflow for free.
If you need any kind of help or have any queries, you can ask them on forum.pabbly.com, and you can check Pabbly Connect's pricing at this link. So if this video was helpful to you, you can like this video, don't forget to share it with others, and to keep getting such content on automation and integration, you can subscribe to Pabbly. Thank you, have a nice day.